On today's WrestleTalk news, WWE and their networks really want to sign MJF, AEW sign a free agent, Ollie Davis's review of AEW Dynamite, winter is coming, and more. Click that subscribe button and super click the bell so notifications are always on to make sure you know when videos go live.
Support WrestleTalk!
During his feud with Darby Allin, MJF made references to his contract being up in 2024 and that he's got Bruce Pritchard's number on speed dial, teasing a jump to WWE to get him even more heel heat than he already gets. Just make sure you don't have Johnny Ace's number. And it would seem that this was more shoot than we originally thought, as according to Andrew Zarian, there is a lot of interest within WWE to sign MJF away from AEW. And it's not just WWE that wants him, USA and Fox do too. Zarian writes on Figure 4 Online, the past few weeks I've been asked personally by multiple people within Fox and USA regarding MJF, as his program with CM Punk has brought in a new level of interest from non-pro wrestling followers at both networks. And there could be some truth to that. Anecdotally, our review of that episode was the most watched AEW review we've had on the WrestleTalk podcast since CM Punk's return and All Out, which obviously saw Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole jump ship. According to Zarian, his source at one of the networks told him, I actually stopped what I was doing and listened to him. I don't think I've done that with pro wrestling in a long time. WWE have reportedly always been interested in MJF, but now that Fox and USA Network are also interested, you can bet dollars to donuts that more efforts will be put in place to lure him away from All Elite Wrestling. As MJF himself put it on Twitter, it will be the bidding war of 2024. Zarian's source added he has everything we would want. It really depends on if he could be the same person on WWE TV. We want new stars to be the focus within the next few years. That's the plan. What do you think will happen with MJF in 2024? Does he stay with AEW or does he see if the grass is greener in WWE? Let us know in the comments down below. But before we get to 2024, there's the small matter of the huge amount of free agents currently on the wrestling scene as we close out 2021. Not only do we have all of the released names from WWE, Johnny Gargano and Kyle O'Reilly opting not to re-sign with WWE, and the small matter of Ring of Honor releasing its entire roster as they go on hiatus until next April. And according to Cassidy Haynes of Body Slam, who reported the original Bryan Danielson to AEW confirmed story, All Elite Wrestling snapped up Brody King almost immediately after it was announced Ring of Honor was going on hiatus. King was reportedly told over Thanksgiving weekend that his signing was a done deal, which is certainly interesting given the House of Black promo we got on Dynamite this week, as King and Malachi Black are the current PWG Tag Team Champions as the Kings of the Black Throne. One man who won't be joining AEW, however, is Kevin Owens, who has re-signed with WWE according to Fightful Select. Sean Ross Sapp writes that Owens was made an excellent offer to stay, and talent within AEW didn't think the company would realistically match what WWE would offer. But before we get into Ollie Davis's review of AEW Dynamite, here's a word from our sponsor.
Before we get on with the rest of the episode, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to this video's sponsor, Manscaped.com, the global brand for men's grooming and hygiene products, where you can get 20% off, free international shipping, and 2 free gifts at manscaped.com/WTTV, where Adam Cole, baby, will tell you this Christmas, you know it's all about your balls. Testicles, baby! So give your balls the best gift this Christmas. Or your friend or your family member's balls. Weird. By getting the Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0, which has you covered from head to toe, literally. Inside is the Lawnmower 4.0 waterproof cordless trimmer with advanced skin-safe technology that helps reduce getting busted open hard way. It also has an LED light to see where you're going. And the Gooch Raves. Gooch, gooch. Gooch, gooch. The stocking stuffers of the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner Spray, the amazing Weed Whacker Nose and Ear Hair Trimmer with that same skin-safe technology to stop cutting the inside of your nostrils. And Manscaped isn't just about below-the-waist grooming, as you'll also get their luxury 6-piece Shears 2.0 stainless steel nail kit. So treat yourself or a friend and order the Performance Package 4.0 now using our link manscaped.com/WTTV in the video description below, where you'll get 20% off, free international shipping, and 2 free gifts: the Shed Travel Bag and the Anti-Chafing Boxer Briefs. Manscaped is so festive, even their gifts have gifts. And make sure to enroll in the Peak Hygiene Plan too, so you get your favourite products delivered hassle-free before you run out. So go to manscaped.com/WTTV now and upgrade your grooming life. And as a bonus, it really helps support us here at WrestleTalk too, even if you just click the link to check them out. Support Manscaped, because you know, it's all about your balls. Now it's time for my review of AEW Dynamite in about 5 minutes. The Winter is Coming special skipped all the foreplay and went straight for the coming, as the show opened with Bryan Danielson versus Wangman Page for the AEW World Championship, complete with Page's name bar saying how he still doesn't like the ending for Game of Thrones. A babyface. This match had a lot of expectation riding on it. It was on the same show the title changed hands last year. It was Hangman's first match since winning the belt, and the last time Danielson was this close to the championship, it was arguably the best match of the year. With all that baggage riding in, they needed something bold, so they wrestled to a 60-minute time limit draw. You can almost break the match into 3 20-minute acts. They started out methodical, with Bryan getting the better of the technical exchanges. In the middle section, it was time for everybody's body parts to be destroyed, with Page first taking an awful flip bump onto the apron, injuring his shoulder and blading for some colour, followed by Bryan accidentally kicking the ring post, causing Hangman to target his leg. And the final act was a series of big moves, near falls, submission exchanges, and New Japan-style yay boo spots. Suddenly, Justin Roberts said there was 5 minutes remaining, and I was like, I've been watching this for almost an hour. The final minute saw Bryan reverse a buckshot lariat into a tense label lock. Page fought out to hit the buckshot, but the time limit expired for a draw, and Danielson remains undefeated in AEW. It was an incredible performance by both men. I can look at that structure on paper and see it's a very well paced out match. Hangman also put his body on the line several times. You cannot fault their dedication. But then why, rather fitting of Winter is Coming, was I left slightly cold? Trust me, that hurts me to say, and I hope I can watch this back at the weekend and change my mind. Or by the middle of next year, I'll look back at this and go, man, what an incredible story I didn't realize was being set up. Page couldn't even win his first title defense, further playing into his self-doubt, setting up Danielson as his Reigns looming big boss, someone that Kenny Omega also couldn't beat. But on immediate watch, the draw felt anticlimactic. The crowd booed the result, and I myself let out a groan watching at home. By comparison, I was literally clapping out loud for the finish of Omega vs Danielson back in September. I think it comes down to 2 things. Firstly, the match itself. Was it a fantastic 60-minute match? Or was it a 60-minute match which is always just objectively impressive? It's weird to say that even at the 55-minute mark, I think I was still waiting for the hook. Not that hook, which only came with the time call. And secondly, and I think the first part is connected to this, is Hangman's overall booking. The opening act of the match didn't fit the story that had been told to this point. Danielson had been brutally injuring Page's best Dark Order friends for a month. I never felt that vengeful fire from him. He hasn't wrestled since Full Gear, has lacked prominence on Dynamite, and the one way to counteract all this, I think, was to have him go over in the final minute, conclusively beating Bryan to properly cement his reign. But he drew. I am rather thinking out loud here, and I expect there to be some very passionate counter opinions in the comments. I hope you can persuade me. Just please do so with kindness and understanding. Maybe this wasn't the best match ever, nor the worst thing ever. Maybe there's a middle ground for debate. And also tune into mine and Luke's AEW review live stream on the WrestleTalk podcast channel later today, where we can further work out what we all thought of it. Thanks for your support on Patreon, Shield Maiden, the Zornice, and Chris, the Cypriot Sensation Patru. You too can get your own shout out by going to patreon.com/WrestleTalk. With Wangman vs Danielson taking up the first hour, as is Dynamite's way, the second half had everything else. Adam Cole, Bobby Fish and the Young Bucks set up an 8-man tag against the Best Friends on Rampage, but far more interesting was Cole saying he's got a present for them all next week. which, speculation and mania running wild, could be a contract for Kyle O'Reilly. Or a Toblerone, I don't know. Matt Sydal didn't get an entrance and was facing Wardlow. Boy, I wonder who's winning this one. Really, this match should have gone an hour, and it should have been Wardlow powerbombing Sydal over and over and over again. But his accountability buddy Sean Spears shouted at him to just take the pin. They're not paid by the hour. And then said MJF wanted him to pick up some champagne for later. Not just a genius continuation of Wardlow's building face turn, but also a neat reason why him and Spears weren't around for the main event angle. Malachi Black got an awesomely produced vignette come short film with him seemingly inducting a new disciple into his House of Black faction by spitting mist in someone's face. Malachi finished by whispering in that person's ear, "Now, you're so much more than a king," which has got to be Black's PWG tag team partner Brody King, as Luke mentioned earlier. Then it was time for the real main event, Shida versus Deeb. Unfortunately, this was probably the least best of their 3 matches. Shida is an amazing babyface, and Deeb is a joy to watch wrestle, but the match never found that extra gear, and ended with Deeb colliding with a turnbuckle she had exposed, and Shida winning with an opportunistic jackknife pin. Hardly the super decisive finish you'd want from a rubber match. Griff Garrison cut a promo on Malachi Black after he misted Julia Hart last week. They'll wrestle next Wednesday. Griff is going to die. Hook debuted. Remember that? He got a video recap package. Eddie Kingston said he's tagging with Santana, Ortiz, Penta and Phoenix for a 10-man tag this Friday against 2.0 Daniel Garcia and The Acclaimed. And the main event saw MJF cut a pre-match promo where he said in Texas, "Your daughter swallows." Yeah, I think MJF's a heel again. He went on to say how Punk isn't championship material for winning underwhelming matches against underwhelming opponents. I just thought that made you Ryback. I love how the worst thing you can say to someone in AEW is calling them a WWE star. MJF and Dante Martin was as good as you'd expect, with MJF's heel work perfectly complementing Martin's high-flying offense. And Dante almost had it won, but Ricky Starks put MJF's foot on the ropes, continuing their feud, letting MJF tap him out with the Soul of the Earth armbar, becoming a 3-time winner of the Diamond Ring. The lights cut out though as MJF celebrated with FTR. Not Bray Wyatt, not Kyle O'Reilly, not Johnny Gargano, but Sting and Darby Allin looking for revenge after Rampage. Probably didn't need the lights cutting out spot there. The heels got the better of them, so outrun CM Punk for the save, setting up a 6-man tag for them all. What did you think of Dynamite? Let me know in the comments. I'm definitely in the minority here, as 76% of you voted for Hangman vs Danielson was a 60-minute draw with a happy smiley face. And our poll on a poll match on the community tab. AEW is so consistently awesome, their specials will always struggle against expectation. And for me, this one didn't match the hype. But I can't deny the objective greatness of Danielson and Page's performance, so this week's Dynamite is a 4 out of 5. Before we get out of here, I just want to say a huge thank you to Alex McCarthy, SP3, Stephanie Chase, Satnyangi, Jenna, Vinny, Rich, Pete, Louie, and everyone who's been a part of Wrestling Daily over the last year. We've decided not to continue with the channel next year, so tonight will be their last show. Please tune in to send them off and go follow them all on social media. Each and every one of them are fantastic, and I'm going to do everything I can to find ways to keep working with them all in 2022. Ding dong, merrily on high. Ding dong. Ding dong, ding dong,
like
ding dong,
ding dong,
ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Ding dong, merrily on high.
Sean. Is that our truth?
Yeah, it is. People over there, what's up?
No
Ding
way.
dong, merrily on high.
Yeah.
Ding dong.